Authority Alchemy.
Authority Alchemy.
The show for positioning yourself as the number one authority in your industry.
Quickly turn your prospects into clients and clients into raving fans.
Here are your hosts,
Brian Horn and Jack Mize.
And it is another episode of Authority Alchemy, and I am Jack Mize.
I am Brian Horn.
You know what occurred to me today?
What occurred to you?
Is those really professional, fancy people that speak before our show starts.
Right.
They already tell people that Jack Mize and Brian Horn are about to talk to you.
Dude, you're right. I never knew that either. We're being redundant.
I know.
I think we really like ourselves a lot.
That's
just to make sure if anybody missed that portion of the music and the big crazy effects. In case they missed it, they'll now know.
We'll say, yeah, here's the low-key version of what you just heard. How about that? All right, but this is, I'm not even going to say it again, Authority Alchemy. All right, what have we got today? We have a topic that a lot of people look for. They want to know information on it, but it's one of those things that sometimes they're afraid to ask people, or they don't know where to go, or ask, how does this work? How do you do this? And it's one of those things that are very common, but people don't realize how common this is. And we're going to talk about booking speaking engagements with your authority marketing, how to use authority to book speaking engagements. But first, we have to give away one of those high-dollar, highly anticipated and wanted and desired gift cards.
And this week we have a $10 gift card off the Ferrari of your choice with Ferrari of America.
That's right. 2 Ferrari per purchase minimum. So $10 off a Ferrari?
$10 off a Ferrari. We aim to please our market.
That is. So who is going to be the lucky winner of our $10 off the Ferrari gift card?
This week it is Mark Edward Brown, who left us a nice comment on the blog for the bestseller loophole.
Oh, this one is not from iTunes; it's from actual Authority Alchemy.
Yeah, we thought we'd change up a little bit and go back to go to the blog, because we do like comments there, also interaction with you guys. So if you are absolutely insist on not going to iTunes or Stitcher, you can leave comments on the blog also. We like those. And Mark said, Brian and Jack are the authorities on authority. You two pack so much value into your show. It's amazing. Glad you teamed up because it's doubly good what you are doing. So don't stop.
All right. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, Mark, I think I want to see a picture of you in that Ferrari.
Yeah. And one thing I say about Mark, he has absolutely wonderful taste.
It is. So
what a great taste he has.
That is. And I like his haircut. Hey, how does Mark get his gift card?
Mark can reach out to us over Facebook on facebook.com/Authority Alchemy, and we will set him up.
All right. Perfect. Congratulations, Mark. And if you want to be part of our highly technical and accurate drawing, then you can leave us a note, leave us a comment, leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or on the authorityalchemy.com, one of the blog posts, and we will put you in the pool to win that. All right, so let's move on to today's topic, which is how to use your authority. Even if this is authority that you created in the last 30 days, how to start putting it to use. Because that's the one thing, about creating authority so you can impress the friends and family, right?
Absolutely.
When those are the ads in the back of the comics when you're a kid, hey, won't your friends be impressed, They all laughed at me when I told them I could play the piano, but look at me now.
Yeah, famous headlines for all of direct response copywriting goes back to that.
That's it. So to leverage authority, if you've been listening to us for a while, if you've gone out and if you've done the CNN hack, you've used some of this to start building your authority. How do you start leveraging that? And one of the things that a lot of people want to do is to speak. Now, one of the interesting things is you'll often see that speaking is they say that's something that a lot of people fear more than death, is to speak in public.
Number one fear is public speaking.
And that may be the case for a lot of folks, but there's a lot of folks that are in our industry or interested in what we're talking about that don't really have that fear. They're hungry to get out there and do it more.
Because they know the benefits of it.
That's right.
The benefit of having a full wallet outweighs the fear of having to stand in front of a room for an hour.
Exactly. And so that also puts a spotlight on what we were talking about, that micro specialization.
Right.
That even though the majority of the world is afraid to speak in front of people, we happen to be talking about a subject that attracts that small percentage of people that it's something that they want to do. They want to do more of. And that's one of the keys to actually going out and developing that persona, that avatar that will make people that are putting on events that need speakers, that need authority, to want to use you because of that micro specialization. So we talked about that last week, about becoming specialized in that one thing. And just briefly, how does that correlate to being able to get more speaking gigs by doing less, knowing less about less things? It seems like you're limiting yourself from all the people that you might be able to speak for.
Right. It's certainly a point we could see it being that way. But if you think about if somebody's putting on an event, since we are familiar with the world of internet marketing, there's an internet marketing event. If you are a internet marketing specialist and your speech is going to be on internet marketing, you're not going to get hired anywhere. That's too general. People don't want to know about it. But if your talk is geared toward, I'm going to teach people how to recover from a Google penalty. I'm going to teach people how to run their first series of Facebook ads. Those are much more specific things. You're targeting specific people. And the Facebook one, you're targeting people that want to run an ad on Facebook, that are willing to do paid advertising but have never done it before. So you're really targeting a very specific group of people. And that's what people are putting on events want. They want something that somebody's going to come there that's going to be an expert on something specific and able to deliver quality content. And a general knowledge speech just ain't going to do it. Yeah,
and that's where people make the mistake again. If you're doing fitness and you're a fitness coach,
right,
and you want to do speaking, and you say, well, there's so many opportunities out there. I don't want to limit myself. I just want to do a general fitness talk. Well, then you're competing with every fitness person out there that's talking. But if you say, I have a talk specifically on fitness goals and achieving your fitness goals for people over 55, or then all of a sudden, whenever those type of events are looking for someone like that, you're going to be the one to get picked. Right. So you want to get picked 80 to 90% of the time that people are looking for that specialty, or you want to get picked 10% of the time, 5% of the time, or none of the time, that the people might be just looking for some general fitness expert.
Right. Just submitting yourself as being a potential speaker for the topic because it fits in so many things is going to do you no good. You really go back and listen to last week's episode if you hadn't, because we go through a whole process and have you step by step how to do this. But really just getting yourself just niche down, as we discussed last week, as much as possible. And just get down to such a granular level that you have almost no competition, very little competition, where you just can really own that one market.
That is. Okay, so we won't dwell on that too much. You can go back to listen to last week's episode on defining your micro-specialization. So let's go into, you are establishing yourself as a speaker. You have something to talk about, and people can do this. Even if you have a 30, 45-minute talk, I promise you're going to find much more opportunities to do anywhere from 20 to 30 to 45-minute talks than you're going to get approached to be doing full-day workshop seminars right away. So what are the things that people can do to establish that proof of authority? They say the first impression, right? You never get a second chance to make a first impression. When people are perusing, trying to figure out, well, who should I put on my list to dig into deeper? And they go and look at it. What are some of the things that people can do to say, okay, without seeing or listening to this person, I get the impression that they are up to something and they need to be looked at further?
Sure. One of the things, you got to think about what you would do first. If you were putting on a event and you had, say, 10 people, you want to pick 5 of them, and you're sitting at your desk, what's the very first thing you're going to do? You're going to Google them. You're going to look at their a website of theirs. And if somebody does not have a blog or a podcast or a YouTube or video blog that consistently delivers quality, relevant content on your micro specialization, you're not going to be one of them that's picked. That's one of the most important things, is to have a consistently delivered blog, podcast, or video blog, or some other method of putting content out there that people can see. That's going to be your proof of authority.
Yeah, and that's the authority content.
Sure.
Right? Authority content is what you need. And I can't tell you how many times that I've been things that I haven't even gone to try to speak at, but have been approached for speaking, is because people say, "Hey, I saw your videos online. I saw," and it goes back to, again, that educator and advocate. When they see that and they feel that this is a person that I would like to have speak to my group. This is going to be, because remember, at the end of the day, are they saying, who can I find to give an opportunity to? Who can I find?
Who can I help?
Yeah,
I want to make somebody's day. There's that nice guy, Jack. I'm going to help him out and let him go. As
much as you like to think the world works like the way they are saying, who can I get to make me look good? Who can I get to make me look connected as a person that's putting this on? And that's where you have the opportunity to really be head and shoulders above your competition with, one, your content. Absolutely. But what is it? People, they do drive-bys, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have to get them the opportunity to even look at your content. What are you going to have for the fly paper that's going to make them say, "Whoa, okay, I better look at this person. Let me see what they're up to."
We've got trust triggers.
Trust triggers. And that is Derek Halpern, right? Over at socialtriggers.com.
Right. He's what came up with that. And it's basically just like what we do with our logos, these big media logos we put on their site. That will instantly, when somebody hits your site within less than a second, they can pick up that you've used, like say you've used the CNN hack, you have the As Seen on CNN logo, or you've done one of the authority press releases with us, and you have your ABC, NBC, CBS, Wall Street Journal logos on there. That instantly says this guy is not just some guy sitting in his basement, typing on a blog. He has a real business and has been already. These other places have already picked him up because he is an expert.
Exactly, and that's what you're doing in an instant. That's that first impression. When somebody bounces on to what you're doing and they see those trust triggers, like the big media logos, they see that you've been quoted or you're doing regular contributions to CNN as an authority in your industry, then you're going to be on the list. Right. That's the first goal. Get on the list, and that's now going deeper. Some of the things that really separate you, put that gap between you and the other folks that they may be looking at, are things like, well, what's one of the oldest in the expert guru game is what?
The biggest thing's been the longest, and it is still having your own book. Having a book.
Yeah, having a book. And Brian, I can tell you, chose those words very carefully, because we did the episode on the bestseller loophole.
Sure.
And if you listen to that, you know that in our industry, if you're not writing Stephen King novels, if you're not writing So Many Shades of Grey, then the real benefit of you being an author or a best-selling author is not in generating money or revenue selling your book. It's being the person that wrote the book. So, we talked about the benefit, the value. Your income, your profits are not going to come from selling books. It's coming from because you have a book, and this is a perfect example. If you get more speaking engagements, which in turn brings in more clients, brings in more revenue, that is coming from you having a book.
Absolutely.
That's one of the seeds that got planted. And so you and I, we've spoken at a lot of different events, internet marketing events,
sure,
industry events, and without hesitation or exaggeration, having that book, allowing them to introduce you as author, best-selling author, what kind of impact do you think that's had on your the amount of speaking opportunities and invitations you get?
Oh, it's huge. Huge. I mean, that's a lot of the gigs I got were because of that, because of the authority position around what I did myself for years with having the book being featured those different places. that just you're not like anybody else when you do that. And there's a lot of people that have, some people have books, but when you position it the way that we're telling you and stack it with the big media appearances, there's very few people that have that.
And it even comes to it's weird the way that things work in the perception. You could have let's say a ebook, or even an information product,
sure, that
sells for $100, and that's not going to impress people as much as best-selling author
that sold three books.
Even if it's 3 books, and even if it's 99 cents on Amazon,
right? It
just carries a much different perceived value, or puts you in a different place. Not that having that product doesn't. Having products, you definitely creates authority, but the minimum effective dose of getting, starting out, being an author is definitely one of them. And even if you're a co-author, a contributor to a book, even if you don't have your whole book, the fact that you can be introduced as best-selling author. And it's not the fact that they're impressed with the knowledge that you put in that book. I can tell you, most people that have picked me because I was an author never read anything.
Nobody does. That's what I was going to say. It doesn't matter what you put in there. Nobody is going to read that. You have very few. I think the person that read my first book was the man that raised me. And I think that my mom didn't even read. My wife didn't even read it. We have it's so funny. We put my kids. I have a 3-year-old son and a 1.5-year-old daughter, and they just love books. They just tear through them. And he was in my office playing around one time, and I handed him my book, and he loves books. He looked at it and just tossed it on the floor and went on to something else. So he doesn't even like it. So he didn't even read my book. So you don't have to worry about you're making your book perfect. Yeah.
If you're sitting there thinking that they're going to say, oh, best-selling, well, let me read your book and I'll get back to you. No. You know what? Because their benefit, when they win, so many people miss the benchmarks of success in this. So many people miss when they can identify what they've done as a win. Well, the people that are hiring you to speak, they win as soon as they get somebody that they can stand on stage and say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome best-selling author. And that's when they won, because you just gave them the opportunity to be connected, to look like they are able to attract, the top people.
Or even when they're promoting the event, whether they're sending out emails or marketing pieces trying to promote it. We've got best-selling author Jack Mize that's going to talk about XXX. Sounds so much better than we got internet marketer Jack Mize. Yeah, it's such a different ring to it.
Yeah, that's what I always say. The radio, they always want to say. Anytime they can say best-selling author and quoted on CNN, Wall Street Journal, ABC, sounds way better than please welcome a pretty smart fellow Larry. Yeah, it's a much different value there. Sure. Okay, so obviously writing a book is great. What about if they say, well, let me see you speak? Do you have any samples of you speaking somewhere? That's the whole. That's another egg before the. What is it? Chicken
before the egg before the kitchen. Which came first? Yeah, because most are almost really a catch-22 that most most planners will not hire you if they haven't seen you speak, haven't spoken before. So you can't get hired to speak unless you've already spoken. So what are you going to do? Well, you can get. It's very easy to get on like local or smaller industry events at any time. No pressure, probably not selling anything, definitely not getting paid, and get one of those. There's local chamber of commerce groups, different clubs. And when you get one of those, just hire a videographer to come in and record you. Or if you know somebody that has a good camera and a good recording equipment, is somewhat knowledgeable what they're doing, have them come in and record you. I can tell you that is the investment. If you are looking to get some of your first speaking gigs, then definitely, networking groups, small groups that will have you speak in front of anyone that will have you and take pictures. Because can I tell you that the camera at the right angle, I've seen events that were recorded and photographed at the right angle or done at the right times, that if you were there in person, you would think, what is this? Do they take bets during the day here? Is this a bookie office or something? That is just can be made look magical. Can I tell you the magical piece to make a great speaker photo? Mm-hmm. A microphone. If you have a picture holding a microphone or a microphone in front of you,
it's automatically inferred by the person looking at you that you are the center of attention.
What about like what are the little earpiece ones?
Well, that's the thing. You know, I prefer the David Lee Roth microphone. Some people like the Britney Spears microphones. You know, I guess if you the Tony Robbins motivational speaker, right? You got the little Britney Spears. You can do that. Have the little piece right there. But even if you're holding a microphone, I don't know. But I guess it's all your preference.
Yeah,
but
the big one definitely stands out more. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it just as long as it appears that you're on stage. And what's great, people don't realize they can crop pictures. All right, I'm not saying Photoshop in. I'm talking about if you are talking and there's 15 people in the audience, crop it to where you see the tops of the heads of the first row of 3, and there's no. You could be in front of an auditorium of 3,000. It does,
right.
But the fact is, you're speaking in front of someone, and I'm talking about any type of group at all. It's not going to matter. It gives you experience, but that you have social proof that you have actually stood up in front of someone and spoke. So great speaker pictures are something that's important, and you can do them at just about any event. Even if you get up at church and confess some terrible sins, have somebody take pictures, especially if they hand you a microphone.
And another thing is you can get your video edited down also, so you don't have to have the entire speech. Now, what most planners seem to like is to have 2 versions. One, have your full speech if it's 10 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, if it's an hour, whatever it is, have that full one if they can watch, but also do a 2-minute highlight reel. And so that one, it's something fast, punchy. They can watch it, see how you interact, that you can maybe make the crowd laugh, that you make a good point, that you look good and authoritative on stage. It also gives your other visitors to your site something really quick to watch and punchy.
Oh yeah, and one of the things that I've done before, and I wish I would have known this when I first started. I've done events that I just didn't pay that much attention to what I looked like when I went on stage. You've been there, right?
I go back and watch and go, oh my God, I didn't. Back now, I get my jackets and shirts tailored where they fit much better. Back then, I didn't go, oh my God, I look like a little kid wearing his dad's.
You know what? There is. I must have the worst luck of when people snap pictures. And now with social media, Facebook, I got pictures. There's one that floats around on Facebook of I'm on a panel on stage, and I look like I just fell into a narcoleptic coma, amongst the other speakers. And so, you can't help that. But one of the things also is if people really liked your talk, get your iPhone out and your camera and say, oh, really, would you mind saying a few words? And you can get some nice video testimonials there when folks are all lathered up by what you just talked about. And I can tell you, you may get a roll of people that just drone on and they don't seem like they're going to be good testimonials, but you cut those up into quick clips, you got a good testimonial reel.
Absolutely.
For sure. So definitely take advantage of that as well. And so these videos, they don't have to be award winning. No, you're not going to show them. They're not going to be signed up for the Sundance Film Festival, right?
Most likely not.
Okay, but so at least get it clean, get it clear, and really what it's meant to do is show that this person is a capable speaker. All they want is proof that
you can speak,
that you're not going to get up there and freeze up and
and stutter and just sit down.
So that's it. A quick video example is something that you can do. So how do you mix and mingle to get these types of opportunities?
Well, you need to go to some industry events.
Now, that's a tricky word. Industry events. Now, when you first started getting into, entrepreneurship and working for yourself, and, people said, you got to network. You got to go to these events. Mm-hmm. And you start going to events of what? Other people that do what
just
you
like
do.
You.
You get to sit, and instead of it being this nice, great, mixer, and you get to you end up commiserating about all the bad things in your industry sometimes, or so it does build camaraderie. I'm not saying avoid those, do those, but don't think that those are the only ones that you need to spend time at to build your business, because even though those can be profitable, and they certainly are some of the most profitable ways that I've spent my time.
For sure.
What's even a more profitable type of event to attend?
It's the ones that your clients go to.
Your clients' industry events.
Right. So if your clients are real estate agents, go to real estate events. If they are in the fitness industry and you are providing marketing services or something for them, go to those events.
That's it. And those are the ones that you want to speak in front of. Do you want to speak in front of a group of your peers? It's kind of like that people in academia and doctors, some of the biggest, they are kind of put themselves up on that pedestal or whatever, where they speak to their peers, or they're revered or regarded by their peers. But the fact is, it's going to be much more profitable speaking to your prospects than it is to speaking to your peers. So those are some great examples.
Yeah.
If you do something, a service that helps the lives and business of real estate agents or real estate investors or mortgage companies, go to those events, because they're going to be far more interested in what you do than your peer group.
Right. And you kind of take your ego. So a lot of people like within the internet marketing community, they think once they get up on stage, they'll be more recognized and respected within the community, which is cool, I guess. But do you want to have adulation of people you see once a year? Or do you want to have money for your family?
Yeah, that's it.
And that's really what the progression that goes through, at least in this industry. I think probably several others also that you do. Once you start making your way up a little bit, that becomes like your goal is to be seen as the person that can get on stage versus the money guy, and then it slowly changes. I see that progression over time, where the people that are particularly even the big leaders of the industry kind of eventually fade away. Even like we look at like a Frank Kern, who is the top dog for all. He's kind of dropped off all that stuff and is now just doing consulting with private businesses and just making ridiculous amounts of money not working.
Oh, absolutely. But I can tell you, when he does go on stage, he fills the room.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That, and so that doesn't go away. But this doesn't mean that you have to jump on stage at some big national, international industry event. Some of the things that you can do locally. In fact, I know, Brian, I think the first time I ever met you was at a local Glazer Kennedy Glazer Kennedy local chapter event. And this was in a small, maybe 35, 40 people.
Horrible
at
room.
This. Yeah.
That was the scariest room I ever think. And start showing like, what'd you say? How did you describe it?
I can't remember. It was held in a printing press museum, a printing museum.
Yeah.
And which I found odd. If you know how many times printing museum. I guess it was
a fan base. They have to charge admission to come see old printers.
They would have been better off if they would have put that like an amusement park on a hot day, because everybody will go inside any museum if there's air conditioning, right?
Absolutely.
And so, but that was a small event, 30, 35 people. You speak at that, you build your chops. So, think about it. You think about what is it like musicians and comedians and things. They have open mic night. Find something that can be the equivalent of speakers open mic night. I personally have never been involved or been at a Toastmasters.
Right, I haven't either.
But I've heard nothing but great things about Toastmasters and what they get you to accomplish. So there's definitely opportunities to do that. Get in there and speak as much as you can, as often as you can, and you'll find that you can develop the confidence in doing that. But also, the people that see you, you'll be surprised at how 6 months, 9 months, 12 months later, hey, I saw you speak at this thing. Would you mind? You want to come speak at my thing for the same topic? So it definitely builds on that. So let's see on the researching events. What would you do to research this?
Yeah, well, before you go to these events, you just don't go up and show up and wing it. Go to the event, but beforehand, research the event. See what potential clients are going to be there ahead of time, and know who's going to be there. And make your hit list of people that you want to connect with. If you just go there and wing it, it may or may not work. You always need to go in with a plan.
Right. And so here's something also that may go against conventional wisdom about giving away your products or services for free. But here's the catch. You don't want to be the guy that goes out and gives all their stuff away for free. But if you do it the right way and strategically and to the right folks, it can be very beneficial. What's some ways is with charities and nonprofits to offer your services or whatever you do to charities and nonprofits in a number of different ways.
Right. For like a potential person you want to speak, like if I was putting on an event and you wanted to speak at my event, if you came up and said, hey, we'd like to I'd like to donate my services to to the Houston Down Syndrome Association. My some pay-per-click services with $500 worth of stuff to help them raise money. And I'd like to do that on your behalf. That'd be very impressive. That's my charity, and they and that'd be a way to get in the door with me. They could show me what they knew what they were doing, and if they did a really good job and with the charity, I go, wow, they really know their stuff on pay-per-click or whatever service they donated. That'd be something I'd want to come speak at my
Oh yeah, and it could be from anything. You think about it, if you're a fitness trainer, right? Offer a free session to be part of an auction that is being, charity is auctioning off a bunch of different items. Offer a session or
right, or if it's like the Down syndrome thing again, or another children's ones, you go and have on a Saturday have a free a workout thing for them. You go and do some physical activity with a group. So there's all kind of things like that you can do to get on the person's radar, because the goal of this is to get the potential get in front of the potential clients where they know who you are, instead of just going and beating down the door to come let you speak. You're going to show them what you can do, but in a way it's a little bit different through the charity or nonprofit. It's a really cool way of doing that. Yeah,
absolutely. And one of the things you can do is to be seen is you can manufacture your own authority and celebrity. And
sure.
Just, last week, if you listen to the Doug Clark interview, right, he talks about how he started his own radio show to
get a reality show.
Yeah. And I will tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see all these organizations that will be happy for a fee to say that they're going to book you to speak at these things. Just be very leery of that kind of stuff.
Right.
There's lots of opportunities out there, and that may not be one of them that is going to be your best choice. So some things that you can do that you fully control, rather than trying to get other people to do it, is manufacture your own celebrity. And ways you can do that is start like a podcast, right?
Absolutely. Or a blog where you interview people you want to connect with. And that's a great way to get to those people also, because I can tell you, look what Jack just said. We just had on our show last week a guy that has a reality show. It's being picked up by ABC, so it's going to be a network show. And we had the guy here on our interview on our podcast. Do you think that if we can get a network TV show on this podcast, you can get a person that's hosting an event to come on yours? Of course, people always want to be interviewed. It's amazing.
And I see people that say, I'm going to start a podcast because it'll be cool. Or I'm going to start, my own authority blog because it'll be cool. Well, have a better reason than that to be cool. Because one of the things is you've now created your reason to contact these people. If you just wanted to reach out to someone that's an authority or has that is connected or has power and influence in your industry, it's tough to just call them and say, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you because I really would like to have some of your coolness ooze off on me. You can't. But if you called them with a reason why, hi, I have a blog about this industry and I would like to interview you as a subject matter expert in this. I have a podcast around this. I'd like to know if I could interview. All of a sudden, your why is not just a one-way street. Right? It's a two-way street. And so what are some of the benefits of you being able to interview someone of influence, whether it's a written interview or interview for a blog on your blog? What are some of the different reasons that can be highly effective?
Sure. One, you're going to show your micro-specialization. You're going to show that you are an authority on that topic. You're going to get to know them better. They're going to know you. And if you sit down and spend 30 minutes with a person, and you have any type of personality, you're not a wet mop, you're going to have a connection with them at that point. They're going to know you. They're going to like you.
Yep. And then people are going to get to hear you. You have all of a sudden you have some of those highlight reels, even though it's not video, but if people are looking for speakers, they can at least listen to your podcast and say, okay, this guy has some good information.
Sure.
But also look at the people he's associated with or she's associated with. And then another reason is these people of influence that you interview, once you finish interviewing them, well, guess what? They still like to get more accolades and build up more of their own trust triggers. Mm-hmm. And they're going to let people know that they were interviewed on your show or on your blog, and now you can build an audience from the people that you saw and see as influencers. You're now going to get one of the quickest and easiest ways to have their audience see you as well.
And their audience loves. I noticed with we did Carrie a couple weeks ago. We got a lot of traction on Facebook from her people, and she shared the link to it, and she got a lot of comments on that. We had a good bit of traffic from that. So it absolutely works.
All right. So talk a little bit about knowing, how to get in front of where your prospects are, and the whole, word of mouth, that you're going to get from clients and being seen with these influencers.
Yeah, because your prospects, you want to be in their face, 'cause nobody's going to pick you after they see you just one time. Usually, you're going to have to be in their face all the time, but you're going to do it, actually, with authority, or do it a little intelligently. If it is a person that is that they're active on Facebook, be active on Facebook around them. Comment on their stuff, like some stuff they're doing. Have their circle of friends, or close, a little circle of influence, their friends around them, be interacting with them also, so they can see that you're there also. All of a sudden, you're going to start popping up everywhere. They're just going to see you. Also, word of mouth of your clients, being seen in the media, like we're talking about that. Testimonies from our common clients or friends. If you've done work for them before, get those people to give you a testimonial, put it on your site, so when the person starts digging around, they go, "Oh, wow, Jim's used them before. That's really cool."
And it's really impressive if you put that testimonial inside a big media press release,
right.
and if you have a person of influence and you interview them, and then you say, "Oh, by the way, I announced the show that we did. Here it is on the Wall Street Journal. Here it is." They're going to all of a sudden say, "Well, whoa! Maybe I underestimated what this guy's up to."
You just got quoted in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, that's incredibly powerful. Other easy things to do is a speaker section on your website. Why not let people that like what you do see that you actually do speak, that you're available to speak at their events?
Yeah, just having that there, like having if Brian Horn is available to speak, keynote events, or industry events, or whatever it is, and throwing keynote in there sounds kind of cool. Also, I like throwing that in there, even if you're not going to be booked for a keynote, makes you look like you're salted veteran. But so put that on there, and also have things like a downloadable one-sheeter brochure that has your picture on it, your micro specialization to explain exactly what you're most knowledgeable about, some bullet points about what your speech is going to be about, and have them written out as. Don't just when you're writing out bullet points for these things with everything, have them be benefit statements, like what the person's going to get up. So something they can just pick up.
Not about you, not I've done this, I've done this,
Yeah.
I've been here. Here's what you're going to get out of my talk. That's really what you want
the talk is. How really even more important is how the talk is going to help the audience there, because that's what the person's concerned about. And then you put your speaker video on there also that you probably at this point have already created.
Yeah.
I bet at this point in the show, they've already been so excited and blown away, they've already made their speaker videos.
That's it. While you're listening to this, you've gone out and made videos.
Our little alchemy family don't play. They go out and do it.
That's it. Now we talked about get on stage anywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. I don't care if your kid's scout troop needs somebody to talk. Go talk,
anywhere.
Right? All right. And so what that is amazing how little things that you think may be insignificant or inconsequential can be those pivotal moments that turn into something really remarkable.
Yeah. Can I tell a story? I'm telling the story of 3 speeches. One of the first speeches I did was for a client. His name Rory Fatt. He's a restaurant marketing guy. Just helps restaurant owners with their marketing. I spoke at an event of his. Shortly after, Bill Glazer was at that event. Shortly after that, I was asked to speak at to fill in for a speaker that had to drop out at the Info Summit, which is a big one of the 3 big internet marketing events. And there was a guy in the audience there. About 8 months after I spoke there, never heard from him, never talked to him. I got a call from a guy in Australia named Mal Emery that said, I heard you at the Info Summit. I'd like you to come down to Sydney and speak at my event. I went down to speak at his event in Sydney, and I made $220,000 in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Now, that right there, $220,000. I don't know if I could work for that kind of fees.
But that was my biggest take in my head for his event yet. But that started from doing this exact thing, speaking in. I spoke at a small event for restaurant marketers. There was probably 50 people, not even 50. There's probably 30 people in the room. I had no potential to make $1 off it. I couldn't sell anything. This was for a client. So I went out there on my own dollar. The client was still giving me money for working with him, but I still went out to his event on my own dime, spoke there with not expecting to get anything out of it immediately, and I got 2 other gigs out. The one in the one for info. Someone did good at that one also. Any other accounts, people, if I told them what I made there, they'd say I'm crazy for not being happy about it. But it wasn't what that other one was. When they hit that big one, everything else seems kind of pale. But yeah, so that was it. I mean, I just took what was there and go with it, and just do that ever. Just go and speak. And you're most likely not going to have that happen. But I could probably never if I did.
But it's all building blocks.
Yeah.
Don't ever think about it as a wasted time. Oh, I wasted my time. I've done things that I thought were wasted times that turned into. It just escalates. It snowballs. So
yeah, it's just good lessons also, because you get up there and God, I just sounded so horrible. Or I lost the audience at this particular point in the presentation. So I'm going to go back here and tighten that area up.
Oh yeah, you always learn every time you speak. You always learn. I love looking in the audience's eyes, things you never get from a podcast, things you never get from a webinar.
Right.
But when you can look in an audience's eyes and see what really does excite them and what really does hit those triggers that they really want to hear more about.
Right.
And speaking of hearing more about,
I hear something coming.
There it is.
It's finally time for authority hacks. It may be Brian's or it may be Jack's. You'll appear to be famous, then you will claim us to be the kings of authority hacks. It's time for authority hacks. It's time for authority hacks.
All right, it's the authority hack, and today is going to be something simple but has such big production value. Most people don't do it, or sadly, they try to do it themselves, and it looks really, really bad.
Yes.
And that is video intros. Now, what I'm talking about is when you're doing, say, YouTube videos, or you're doing
your speaker video.
Your speaker video, to have some good intro video, or what they call, your
logo reveals.
Logo reveals. Intros. That's it. And here's the problem: some people do them inappropriately. Some people do them way too long.
They go crazy with it.
Yeah, and so now that we know what we're talking about, so what's some easy ways to really put that professional kind of polish on your videos very, very easily, affordably, and also that looks high impact without breaking the bank on that.
Sure. The easiest place is you can go to Fiverr.com, where some of our hacks are Fiverr.com, because that's a wonderful place to go get cheap stuff done. You can go there and you can look up video intros or logo reveals, and there'll be a whole bunch of ones you can pick from. You can see what they would look like with your content. They're going to be pretty standard. Usually you can put in your logo, you can put in maybe your company name, and that's it. So like if Jack and I were doing one here, we could have one where revealed Authority Alchemy, maybe then popped out the image we use on.
We should do
podcast.
One just to show them.
Yeah, well,
look below this. Look below this. Go to authorityalchemy.com on this post.
There you go.
And see if we haven't moved and made one.
Yeah, we may have a couple up there, but all you got to do is upload the stuff, and then it'll be like, as you can see it on this below the podcast you're listening. It'll be you'll have some music and some fast photo effects, and maybe like some lights popping in and out. And keep it short. You want to keep, there's ones that are 12, 15 seconds or longer. Keep it short. Keep them about 6 seconds is probably a good time. You go a little bit higher if you have to. But people don't want to watch all that stuff. They want to see the content quick. But it's something just to pop out and show that it's not just all of a sudden your face there, or you standing on stage. It's something to kind of set it up that you are a bigger than life person.
It's the whole reason movies have intros. They have trailers. They have it builds tension and anticipation for what they're about to see.
Right.
And it can be done in just a few seconds. Where I see it done inappropriately, I've seen people that do videos for local business, and they got Joe's Pizza that has this huge, planet exploding, with this music.
Right.
Joe's Pizza, eat it now. Make sure it's appropriate to what you're doing. Don't do it cool just for the sake of being cool, but have it kind of follow along your theme. If you're a pretty low key person, you don't want to have this big "I'm a rock star" kind of feel to it.
And you're ever good for. You probably should, whichever one you like, go down about 2 or 3 notches of how over the top and cool it makes you look, and do that one, because I've done that also. You go there and you go, wow, that one's so cool, I want that one, and then you go, God, I look like an ass.
Yeah,
it's too much. I'm not that cool. I'm selling some internet marketing product.
That's it.
Something that over the top.
Yeah, selling websites. Maybe I should take the Elvis costume off.
Maybe so.
All right, so that's really easy. Fiverr.com. Look below. We'll have some examples if you do want to be brave and do it yourself.
Yeah, an easy way to do it. You can use your presentation software like your PowerPoint or Keynote. You plan it out on there. We have your business name, maybe like 3 bullet points of what you're going to do in a picture or 2. And then you can just play that and use a screen capture software like Jing or ScreenFlow or Camtasia and record yourself going through that, pull it out, drop it in an iMovie, and put some music on it.
Yeah,
but you've also, if you see, the Fiverr stands for $5. Just $5. This is probably going to take you at least 15, 20 minutes or something if you're good.
Yeah, and at 3:47 in the morning when you're up trying to finish up your 6-second intro, you may think, okay, maybe I should have gone to Fiverr.
You also got to realize that like Jack uses this minimum effective dose a lot. Yeah, somebody's not going to go, whoa, I didn't like that video intro. I'm not going to hire them. You just need something there to differentiate yourself and to kind of make yourself look like you're a little bit more professional and authoritative. So Fiverr is a great one. You can do that and you'll have it back in a couple of days. And you're going to pay attention to it a lot more than any of your prospects are going to, the details of it. All right, well, cool. That's a great authority hack, and it's something that you can do very, very quickly. And the fact is with Fiverr, the great thing is it's $5. Sometimes it takes a couple of gigs, $10, $15, but still, think about that as throwaway. It's worth the $15 to see if it comes back looking good and to test it out. That's what it does. It's all about testing. And it's really easy ways for you to do that without committing. Because if you went out and spent $3,000 on this, which some people do, absolutely,
and it's not what they want, they feel like, well, I spent the money, I've got to now fit this persona now. So since I spent the $3,000 on that, maybe that's what happened to Elvis. Maybe somebody screwed up on his karate outfit and he's like, well, I spent all this money on it, I better start wearing it. Yeah. So I don't like it, but I spent too much on it. I better wear it. All right. So, so that's a great authority hack and something that you can use immediately. We're going to put our examples down there. You go out there and let us know your examples. Send us a link to yours. They put them on YouTube. I'd love to see some of these. All right. Well, I think we've gone over some good stuff here, enough to get people going out there to start attracting those speaking gigs and establishing authority around that. Again, look forward, leave your reviews, do all that so we can let you win one of those bad, can I say, I've never cussed on there. Yeah. One of those bad rear end. Badass. I'm a badass. Okay. You can get one of those great, fantastic gift cards by leaving a review, and we'll put that on there. And also keep the feedback coming. We love getting the feedback from you. Brian, you want to take it away for the last word?
Yeah. So we're going to end again this week with Jackson's lesson of the week, and that is to don't be afraid to admit you need help. As my son is a child with Down syndrome, he has several different types of delays. He was having problems when he was younger, he was having problems with crawling, feeding himself, stacking blocks, just about every milestone of a typical child he was having problems with. So we took action and we hired 6 different therapists and specialists to work with him. Each one had a very specific thing they helped him with. And we've seen a dramatic improvement since we got serious with this therapy. The lesson here is, if you're having problems in an area of your business, hire a specialist to help you. The hardest part is admitting that you can't do it. Just admit it, then pass it off to the experts. See you next week.
Authority Alchemy.
The show for positioning yourself as the #1 authority in your industry.
Quickly turn your prospects into clients and clients into raving fans.
Authority Alchemy.